Welcome back. So imagine being part of a breeches buoy rescue. Well, an upcoming event sponsored by the OC Museum takes you there in a reenactment. I'm joined by Museum Board President Nancy Howard with all the details. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Lenita. So nice to see you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
It's so fascinating. Like we were just talking about how people don't fully know what's going on inside your building right there in Ocean City. Tell us a little bit about the museum.
Exactly. The museum has been there operating since 1978, and I will bet you most of the people that travel up and down the boardwalk don't even know what we do or how we do it. I bet you if I took a show of hands of your viewers
at home, raise your hand if you've ever.
They go, oh,
right.
You know, never heard of it. But we have we concentrate on the life of the life-saving stations that were centered along the coasts since the middle of the 1800s. And the reason we're doing this breeches buoy this year is because the Coast Guard, that eventually that's what the life-saving station became, is 100 years old. Now the life-saving, the Coast Guard function has been going on since the middle of the 1700s, but it actually was named the Coast Guard in 1915. So it's 100 years, and we decided to do a breeches buoy rescue demonstration reenactment. And it's a little difficult to explain.
We have a picture here.
Picture.
Let's see, at least get the visual up, and then you can kind of tell us what is happening.
You will see the man to the right of the screen with the thing up around his chest. That is the breeches buoy. And what would happen is they would shoot a cannon, a small gun cannon, and a line would go from shore out to the mast of a ship that was in trouble. Sinking, foundering out on the ocean. And what they would do is after they would shoot that line to the mast, they would hook up the ropes and the pulleys, and then they would bring the people off the ships. Now imagine, just imagine doing that 150 years ago, when the seas are raging, it's 40 degrees outside.
And how many people are we talking on these, coming in? Because you're bringing everybody in one by one.
Exactly. And in those days, I mean, they didn't have any electronics. They didn't have any mechanisms. They just had these very basic, manpowers. And so that's what the museum is all about. The museum is there to recognize these people who literally gave their lives to try and rescue people who were in peril.
And so the reenactment is happening when and where?
It is happening Saturday, June the 20th at 10 o'clock, and it's on the beach at the southern end of Ocean City by the inlet parking lot. And we will not, of course, be shooting it into the water. This will be a reenactment, so it's done on the sand itself. And we've got the Coast Guard working with us. We have borrowed all the equipment from the Delmarva Recreation Department, their life-saving station up in Indian River Inlet. And then also, after they do this 18th century rescue, the Coast Guard is going to come in with a helicopter and do a 21st century water rescue, which should be pretty interesting. I mean, they'll have like a dummy that they have out in the ocean, and then they will save the dummy. Not a person. And then the Ocean City the Ocean City Beach Patrol will do their version of a rescue from the surf. And so it'll be sort of a day of water rescue.
Quite involved in terms of water rescues. And how long have you all been there as the museum?
Since 1978. The museum, the building was there since 1891. That's when the current building was built. And it sat up at Caroline Street. And in 1978, some very forward-thinking people moved it to the position it is now, because it was becoming a derelict building. The Coast Guard had actually moved out in 1964 when they built their own station in South Ocean City, and so the building just sat there. And there, as I said, some forward-thinking people who said, this is great. So now we have a museum. I mean, an aquarium in the building. We have a children's display that's interactive. There's a great exhibit on Surf's Up, about surfing. So there are many interesting things about the history of Ocean City itself, as well as the life-saving service. And So we concentrate on both of those areas.
And where are you? Right there at the end?
Right by the inlet parking lot.
Okay.
If you go any further south, you'll be in the inlet, and which is not good.
And you were saying you put the marlins out some days, and people see, you get thousands of people each day passing by, but it's just a matter of people knowing, hey, this is a pretty interesting thing going on inside here.
It is, and I would like to offer to the people who are watching this morning that if they mention Good Things Delmarva and my name, Nancy Howard, they'll get a free admission to the museum.
You can't beat that.
That's a challenge.
Write that on your calendar, and it's June 20th.
It's June 20th at 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m., and it just sounds like a wonderful day of kind of seeing how things were done with that reenactment in terms of the breeches buoy.
How it's evolved
exactly.
into
in the 21st century.
Yeah. And of course, the Coast Guard is very near and dear to our hearts. Yes. So that is something we're looking forward to.
Well, wonderful.
Bring your kids. Bring your husband.
It's very kid-friendly, very family-oriented, sounds like.
Oh, it's very family-oriented.
Is there a website or a phone number if people want to see this information again?
ocmuseum.org is the website, and you can find out all about us, or 410-289-4991.
All right.
So please come out and see
Nancy Howard mentioned Good Things Delmarva and Nancy Howard, and get in free. One free admission for that. Thank you so much for sharing this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. We really appreciate it.
All right. And you stay with us. We have more good things. We're talking with the Somerset Wellness Center. We'll be right back. Stay with us.